I've known firemen that like chiefs that have killed themselves. Imagine what it does to you to pull a dead child out of a fire. Yeah, that's actually a good one. EMS and firemen, they have a higher rate of suicide. Police officer just, yeah.
Good too. Yeah.
I know, but it wears on you. It just, I mean, I don't think human beings can continually be exposed to that and not be damaged. It is. He gave so much, you know. It's my passion, so it's weird, but I like talking about it. You certainly are expanding your talents, aren't you?
Yeah.
Being put in a new
Yeah.
like, I know you've done teaching and I know you've done a variety of things, but you probably haven't.
Radio.
Yeah, he's a natural.
He's a natural.
I read about his bio. He's a former coach, and he's done a lot to help
JP.
youth. Yeah.
He was elected as a justice of the peace at 18 years of age. He was the youngest JP in the state of
He's
Texas.
probably in his 30s or 40s.
He's 43. Yeah. And
How do you get elected 18?
He just ran.
All right, Dr. B, about less than a minute.
Yeah.
If I can grab your phone again.
I want
Got it, and I got her website up.
Okay, good.
Bridging Hard.
Okay, here we go. We're going back outside because guess what? The pancakes are, oh man, smelling good. You're going to bring us back. Here we go. Production getting ready. Look at that. Oh my goodness.
Right.
That's Jordan Swim. That is our executive chef. And
Very exciting here.
let me see, those are paper plates.
These are very nice. Those paper plates
Aren't they beautiful
They
paper
are.
plates?
It's
I'll
really,
tell you. I got into those paper plates today. I thought, let's have China-looking paper plates.
I like it. So you see, just a very simple, nice coloring. And one of the nice things about the oatmeal pancakes is you have the whole grain, and then you can see the apple compote with the fresh Vermont maple syrup.
Can everybody see that? I hope you can see that because that's fresh Vermont maple syrup. Yes.
Yes.
Don't those look wonderful? Oh my goodness. And
We're gonna-
just think, how long did this take you to make, Jordan?
You know what's so great about the compote is the compote takes about 3 minutes in a hot pan because you don't want to turn the apples to mush. You just kind of want to get them to get that cooked flavor incorporated into the syrup. And then the pancakes, just a minute or two on each side. And it's really nice. This would be a really great recipe to do the day after Thanksgiving, kind of welcome into the holidays and get the kids involved. And or it'd be great for kind of a fancier brunch, So
Boy, tell you what.
we'll bring these into the studio. We're going to let you all try them and see if they pass the test.
Oh, I can hear you now. I'll tell you what, Dr. B, holy cow, I wish you were on our YouTube page watching because it looks fantastic. We've got apple compote with oatmeal spice pancakes and I can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can hear me. That's all that matters.
I can hear you, John.
Oh, there's a Jordan. I can hear each other. Apple compote. We're about to walk into the studio actually with pancakes in hand, and I'm going to do the whole YouTube following him. Oh my goodness!
So we
Jordan,
got
do I even have you in the picture?
3 plates.
Three
plates
plates
here.
of apple compote, spice oatmeal pancakes. These are, oh my goodness gracious. And here he comes into studio. Oh my God, oh, the smells are outstanding. Woo, Dr. B, here we go.
All right,
Dr.
thank
B.
you. Well, I wish that our listeners could hear this and see this, and I might share with them, but I doubt it. It looks too good, So, thank you, Jordan.
Absolutely. This recipe comes together really quickly, and it's a great fall entertaining recipe. I told John earlier that one of the things you could do is the day after Thanksgiving would be a great time to bring out this pancake recipe when you're entertaining. Maybe the kids want to get involved. And then, of course, we love this recipe because it incorporates whole grains and then also have flax seed and hemp seed that's in this pancake recipe, so we kind of get some diversity of ingredients, and it's a great way to incorporate some of those different health foods for the children.
So this is not only delicious, it's healthy as well.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity of digging in. Just one thing, Sherry was with us, but she had an announcement that she wanted to make just before we talk more about the chef here. Go ahead, Sherry.
Well, I'd rather eat the pancakes right now. They smell so good and they have such wonderful ingredients. But I wanted to mention that Touched by Suicide is having their memorial walk this Saturday, November 7th at Andy Brown Park East in Capel. Please go to our website, touchedbysuicide.net, for information. This is a very bittersweet occasion. It's our 9th annual one where people that have been touched by suicide or mental health supporters trying to reduce the stigma of mental illness all come together, and it's not a race, it's not an athletic event, it's a walk. Excuse me, and families will come together to honor their loved one, to do all kinds of activities. Always makes me laugh and cry, and it's just a very touching event. So we welcome everyone that's a supporter of mental health to come out and visit our walk. Again, if you go to our website, touchedbysuicide.net, you'll see our video. Just let's talk about it, and also information on our walk.
All right. Thank you, Sherry, and thank you again for being with us this morning and sharing this valuable information.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
So, Jordan, how did you get into being a chef?
It's interesting. When I was at college, I went to Abilene Christian University, and I did a study abroad program in Oxford, and it was really a great opportunity for me. What I was able to do was travel all around Europe on the weekends. I maybe didn't do as much studying as I should have, but the markets and the smells and the feel of the culinary tradition really touched something inside of me, and I said, there's really, I think food is a career for me. I never really understood that hospitality could be a career, and then after college, I went to El Centro to do my culinary training, and it just happened where somebody said, "Hey, would you do a party for us?" And printed up business cards, had a website, and began to do catering.
All right.
Hey, Jordan, first of all, oh my God. I just ate a bite of it. I'm going to let these two start eating. And what a simple recipe. Tons of flavor. I love to cook. Not an executive chef yet. That is one of my plans in my life that I want to do. But I always look for, when I eat something, what the flavors are. I can dissect a recipe by just eating and be able to tell what's in it. And this has just got so much flavor in it. How do you make sure you don't overmask the spice flavor, the nutmeg? How do you not overmask that?
That's really an important thing, and especially this time of year, because everybody's kind of used to getting just that pumpkin pie spice flavoring, dumping it in. And what we have is, I use fresh nutmeg in this. You can either use your microplane, or you can actually get a nutmeg grinder. And when you use fresh nutmeg, there's almost a lemony taste that you get in the fresh nutmeg. And then, of course, the cinnamon. And one of the important things is not to put in too many spices. I like to balance with just 2 or 3 spices. And then, of course, with the compote, you're trying to get the natural flavor of the apple. And, of course, maple and apple really complement each other. And then anytime you're trying to bring out flavor, you want to use acidity. And that's why I did just a splash of lemon in the compote, because that acidity brings out the natural brightness and flavors for the apple and the maple. So
go ahead, for everybody that's listening. And again, this will be on our website at jpanddrb.com. And if you have any questions for our executive chef, feel free to call in, or for Sherry, at 214-787-1160. We'd love to hear from you. But, tell them the recipe. And if you will, be specific. Tablespoon of this, teaspoon of that, even though we're on the radio, because I think that folks would like to know that.
Yeah, so this is actually a family recipe from my wife's family. It's 1 cup flour, cup of oats, baking soda, baking powder, salt, sugar, and those are all those quantities will be on the website. And then fresh whole buttermilk, 2 eggs. It's 2 cups of buttermilk, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of canola oil, and then you just let those kind of develop for about an hour. And what happens is those oats actually kind of swell up in the buttermilk, and it creates that kind of creamy texture that you get in the pancakes.
Well, I tell you what, they are delicious, and I had not met you before today, but JP had talked about you a lot, and so I didn't even eat breakfast this morning because I was anticipating, and I'm glad I didn't. These are delicious.
Wonderful.
So, Jordan, if you had to pick a favorite dish that you enjoy making, like for me around the holidays, it's what my great grandmother to my great grandmother to my great grandmother to my grandma to my mom was handed down to me, and that was Portuguese dressing.
Wow.
Straight from Portugal, interesting enough, because my great grandmother migrated with my great grandfather from Portugal through San Francisco. Before I was born, I would hope anyways. And nonetheless, they brought that with them, and all of the spices that come from the Mediterranean and the Adriatic, and so Portuguese dressing is our favorite. That's one of my favorites. I make it with my daughter. I've taught my daughter how to make it. She loves it. So if you had a favorite holiday menu item that you like to make that's just enjoyable for you, what would you say that was?
You know, that's interesting you said about the Portuguese dressing. Being from the South, for the holidays, it's about cornbread dressing. I can remember my grandmother having the crumbled cornbread out on the counter on Thanksgiving Day. And then, and what I've done is I've kind of taken that recipe and modernized it a little bit. Most people do, and kind of in the Dallas area, in the South, cornbread dressing. I like to just add in some caramelized fennel and a little bit of shallot in there. Typically in our family, we don't use any sort of bacon or pork in that. It's all just chicken broth and thyme, rosemary, sage. But those smells around Thanksgiving and the holidays, that's central to our holiday experience.
Well, caramelized fennel. Now that's a great spice to get to use. I mean, explain to people what caramelized fennel smells. I mean, because I don't even know how to describe how it smells, but it's wonderful.
Well, fennel is kind of has anise licorice flavor, and it's the bulb, and it's got the nice fronds that come out of that. And to me, it always complements the celery, onion flavor profile, because it kind of adds that little bitterness, but a sweetness. Anytime you want to cook vegetables, it's typically, a lot of people think, extremely high heat or really low heat. When you're trying to caramelize and bring out the natural flavors in vegetables, it's about slow heat over time. And that's really on that caramelizing, that's where you develop the sugars, the natural sugars out of the vegetables. And those vegetables bring kind of a depth of flavor that you wouldn't have if you were just high heat roast them or saute them in some butter. But that long cooking over time really brings out kind of an underlining tenor in the dish.
So is the cornbread dressing probably one of your favorite holiday things to make, or is there one other dish that's just your most favorite holiday dish?
The other thing that we continually come to is butternut squash risotto. I love butternut squash. I love the creaminess that it brings into the risotto, and in the dish, one of the ways that we try to do is bring in the butternut squash flavor 3 times. We begin to add it at the very first, so it really cooks down into the stock as you're stirring the risotto, and risotto is an Italian rice dish. And then we add it in the middle so that it just cooks and it kind of stays whole. And then lastly, we finish it with cubes of roasted butternut squash. And so anytime you're working with vegetables, and I think it's really important when you're cooking with kids to finish with vegetables, is you want to add those multiple flavor points and profiles.
All right, Jordan, one more time, tell them where they can find you and have you cater for them.
www.vestalscatering.com, or check me out, Jordan Swim. And it was a pleasure today.
All right, Jordan, thank you so much. Our executive chef. Give him a round of applause. Yay, Jordan! Excellent breakfast, I'll tell you what. All right, folks, well, stay tuned as we come back and we continue to talk with Sherry. And we're going to also talk about what's coming up tomorrow. Don't forget the magic word is opportunity for a family 4-pack. Action, take us away. All right. I think what she's wanting us to advertise is this training.
Yeah.
Nice
But
to meet
I
you.
can't tell what day
Good
it
luck
is
to you.
on. I don't know what it is.
Thank you.
Jordan, man, muchas gracias.
Appreciate you
Oh,
guys.
man.
That was fantastic.
Well, good.
Yeah.
It really was.
Let's talk.
Yep.
I forgot to talk about the National Restaurant Association
Sorry.
and all that.
We can get there some other time.
We'll get to another time. Let's talk about maybe getting some other executive chefs to come on.